Vivian, 28, is a legal officer at a prestigious law firm in Verona, Italy. She has always taken pride in her steady career and her blissful marriage to Frank, her first love since their university days. 2 years have passed since their wedding, and their life remains filled with joy and laughter, though they have postponed having children in order to focus on building their careers. Vivian is outgoing and always eager to participate in company events and the Young Lawyers Club. Each morning she rises early, brews a cup of Italian espresso, and chats with Frank before he drives her to the office. They often stop at a little pastry shop by the roadside to share a warm croissant and talk about their dreams for the future. Frank is an ambitious attorney who treats his wife with tender care. In their 2 years together they have weathered many workplace pressures and shared every small delight, from successfully signing major contracts to taking short trips through the Tuscan countryside. Lately, however, Vivian has sensed a shift in her husband's behavior. He's been coming home late more often, his phone is now locked with a new passcode, and whenever she asks about it he only replies hurriedly, "Work has been so stressful, please understand." Her heart begins to ache, yet she tries to trust him and give Frank the benefit of the doubt. One weekend afternoon, while Frank is in an urgent meeting with a client, Vivian decides to visit Lucy, her best friend from college. Lucy lives in an apartment right in the city center, where they used to gather and confide in one another. As soon as Vivian steps inside, she smells the faint scent of scented candles and spots on the bedside shelf a small jewelry box containing the delicate necklace Vivian had given Frank on their second anniversary. "Lucy, where did you get this?" she asks, picking up the box in surprise. Lucy flushes, quickly hiding the necklace, then forces a smile. "Oh, I bought it ages ago, must be a coincidence." But in that fleeting moment of embarrassment, her eyes betray her, and Vivian's heart sinks. Then Vivian notices on the coffee table a silk scarf patterned with flowers, the very one she had worn to the company gala 2 weeks earlier. She remembers choosing it carefully, with Frank's help when he took her shopping. In Lucy's wardrobe, she also discovers Frank's glossy black leather jacket, the birthday gift Frank had given her. Vivian's world fractures. A surging sense of betrayal overcomes her. She quietly gathers her things and heads home in stony silence. Back home that evening, Vivian waits for Frank to return. When he finally opens the door, she remains composed and asks, "Frank, can you explain these gifts?" Frank turns pale and hesitates. Behind him, Lucy appears, her eyes full of guilt. "Vivian. I'm sorry. It's just that Lucy and I." Frank chokes on his words. Lucy, trembling, adds, "I'm sorry, Vivian. Frank and we've been in love ever since he came to see me during his project here." Tears stream down Vivian's face as the cruel truth crashes over her. It feels as though her heart shatters. "If this is how it is," she says, voice breaking, "then say it to my parents. After everything we've shared. You did this behind my back?" Frank is silent. Lucy sobs and hugs her, begging forgiveness. The next morning, though her heart aches, Vivian is determined to finalize the divorce. She signs the papers and packs her belongings. When Frank learns she has gone to the notary, he frantically calls and tries every means to stop her. First he phones Vivian's parents. They are shocked and furious and summon her back to their elegant family home in central Verona. Her father, a veteran lawyer, speaks sternly, "You must think this through. We can reconcile, seek family counseling before rushing into divorce." Her mother weeps, recounting childhood memories and family gatherings, pleading with her daughter not to lose her home. At Frank's house, his sister-in-law and close friends arrive, too. They implore her, "Vivian, think of Frank. He's under so much pressure, this isn't about love fading." His sister-in-law grabs her hand and implores, "If you leave him, you'll lose everything. How will you live alone?" Surrounded by pressure from both families, Vivian feels overwhelmed. She sips a hurried cup of coffee by the window, recalling sweet moments with Frank as gray clouds gather over Verona and a chill wind stirs her hair. Frank appears, remorse and fear etched on his face. He clasps her hand, "Vivian, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I never loved Lucy like that, it was a moment of weakness, of pain. You are my world. Please give me a chance to make it right." His voice is hoarse and his eyes rimmed red. But after nights of tossing and turning, Vivian steels herself. She gently withdraws her hand. You can apologize all you like, but do you even realize how deep the wound is? This isn't just a one-time mistake. She returns his wedding ring, gaze unwavering. I'm sorry, but there's no second chance for us. With that, she walks out, leaving Frank standing stunned in the notary's hall amid his regrets and futile pleas. Having completed the paperwork, Vivian boards a high-speed ferry out of Verona with only a few sets of clothes and her small diary. As the European sunset dips below the horizon, the ferry skims the glittering Adriatic Sea, and she feels like a boat adrift on the vast ocean, with nowhere to anchor. When she disembarks on Isola di Spina at dusk, she is greeted by a desolate scene, a pebble-lined dock and, in the distance, the dim lights of a handful of wooden cottages. No one waits, no one welcomes her. A hush of loneliness settles in her chest. The little wooden house she has rented has the keys waiting on a table. It's bare but spotless, a single bed, an old wood stove, and a window facing the sea. That first night, she quietly unpacks and lies staring at the cracks in the ceiling, listening to the waves echoing in the distance. On the second night, the sky darkens unexpectedly, and winds roar. Forked lightning splits the sky, and thunder booms like drums. Terrified, Vivian burrows under a thick blanket, but wind gusts drive rain through a gap in the door, soaking the corner of her room. The downpour pounds the corrugated roof in a relentless, howling rhythm. In her panic, she remembers the landlord's suggestion to call Ryan if she needed help. Shaking, she dials his number. Soon, Ryan arrives in the torrential rain, his clothes drenched but his face gentle. He opens his umbrella for her, fixes the loose roof panel, and builds a small fire in the stove to warm the room. Amid the storm, Ryan stands by her like a solid shelter. You don't have to face this alone, he says, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. The next day she wakes with a mild fever. Dizzy, she leans on a cane out on the porch for fresh air, only to find herself trembling with weakness. Ryan reappears with medicine, bandages, and a pot of herbal tea. He carefully cleans a scratch she got in the garden, makes ginger tea, and listens as she speaks of missing Verona. He doesn't say much, he simply cares, showing that she is never truly alone. Those cold nights, when her cough wakes her, he brings blankets and sits by her side, holding her hand until she drifts back to sleep. For the first time, Vivian feels a thaw in her heart, a space where someone else might enter. Isola di Spina lies about 20 kilometers off the mainland. Only a few dozen households live here, in a simple, peaceful way. The little wooden cottage she has rented perches on a cliff overlooking the vast blue sea. Every morning she tends her garden, planting vegetables and herbs under the soft dawn light filtering through rosemary and basil bushes. Ryan is a 30-year-old local, about Frank's age, tall and kind-featured, always ready to help Vivian when she needs it. He shows her how to collect rainwater, repaint the wooden walls, and care for the salty, sandy soil. Though friendly, Ryan has asked her on beach walks and invited her to gather clams with him, even to sample his homemade wine. But Vivian, still wounded, remains polite but distant. After the firefly-lit evening, Vivian and Ryan grow closer day by day. The next morning, Ryan brings her the first batch of fresh eggs from his small coop. I know you like soft-boiled eggs, so I thought you'd enjoy these, he says, handing her the warm eggs. Each morning, Ryan visits. He takes her around the island in his old Jeep, showing her where to buy seeds and how to gather organic fertilizer from a local sheep farm. When the heat makes her squint, he shields her with an olive tree's branch. Once, when her nursery seedlings were infested by mosquitoes, Ryan and several villagers worked by lantern light until every last mosquito was gone and her young shoots flourished again. It isn't just Ryan, other islanders begin to embrace her too. They bring seeds of zucchini, cherry tomatoes, and explain germination techniques. Giuseppe, who runs the cafe at the dock, gives her spent coffee grounds for compost. Maria, the village weaver, mends her torn sunshade. Neighborhood children racing by share handfuls of just harvested potatoes. Under Vivian's care, the little garden bursts to life. She plants rows of water spinach and kale, sets pots of basil and mint on the windowsill, and spends afternoons sweeping the porch, oiling door frames, and repainting an old rocking chair. Her shirt is drenched in sweat, yet her eyes shine with renewed hope. Ryan watches every step of her transformation. Once, when she struggled to hang a bamboo lantern, he steadies the ladder for her. You are making this house your own, he says with a warm smile. Day after day, he arrives not only with tools but also with wild fruits, fresh seeds, or simply to sit beside her at sunset. His devotion shows in the smallest acts: a handful of sea salt as fertilizer, a handmade rug for her porch reading nook, a first batch of sourdough bread he learned to bake just for her. When chills return, Maria delivers woolen blankets, and neighbors gather on the porch for tea, cheering her on. In Vivian's heart, the island's warmth and Ryan's kindness chase away her shadows. She realizes this is not just an escape, it's the home she's building. Like seedlings sprouting from rocky ground, her heart begins to open to love and hope again. Weeks after the fireflies glow, long twilight evenings bring Vivian and Ryan ever closer. One evening, as the setting sun blushes the sea, Ryan invites her to sit on the porch steps. A gentle breeze carries the salt scent and the rhythmic sound of waves. Vivian speaks softly, "Ryan, you've shown me so much care, yet I still cling to my past. I once believed in love, only to be betrayed so deeply I thought I'd never open up again." Her voice cracks as she recounts her shattered marriage and the pain of betraying Frank and Lucy. Ryan listens, his eyes gentle and non-judgmental. When she looks down at the garden, he places a hand on her shoulder. "You were brave enough to leave the past behind and start anew. I'm not here to fix your past, but I want to build our future together." Vivian lifts her gaze to his, seeing nothing but sincerity. She asks, "Where do you come from? Why stay on this island instead of working in the city?" He smiles and shares his story. "I grew up here in a fisherman's family. My father died when I was young, and my mother raised me and my brother alone. After studying environmental conservation, I could have traveled the world, but I chose to stay, to protect this community and preserve its traditions." Vivian smiles. "You are an admirable man." He bows his head and whispers, "I admire your strength. You dare to leave everything for a chance at happiness. I want to stand by you, not just as a friend, but as someone who loves you and will be by your side forever." As the sky deepens in twilight, he gently takes her hand. Vivian feels her heart flutter with the innocent thrill of first love. She breathes deeply and smiles, "I'm ready to give you that chance." They share a tender kiss while waves murmur in harmony with their hearts. The world around them falls silent, two souls who've weathered storms now finding peace in each other's arms. Spring dawns pink over Isola di Spina when Vivian notices a faint line on her pregnancy test. Her heart races with joy and anxiety as she texts Ryan, "I have good news." He rushes over, face alight with happiness, and embraces her. "You are going to be a mother." On the wooden steps, bathed in warm sunlight, they share the triumphant moment. Sea breezes tousle her hair and waves applaud with a gentle roar. In the early weeks, Vivian battles morning sickness. Each morning she struggles to eat, but rarely succeeds. Ryan volunteers to cook, preparing brown rice porridge, ginger-infused chicken broth, and chamomile tea to soothe her. On the kitchen table he arranges vitamins and a thermos of warm water for her convenience. When fatigue strikes at midday, he tucks a warm blanket around her, checks her temperature and soothes her, "Rest now, I'll handle everything else." He grinds fresh ginger for tea and monitors the garden so she won't overexert herself. In the second trimester, as Vivian's shape changes, Ryan and Maria sew her a hand-embroidered maternity dress so she remains comfortable and elegant. One afternoon he rows her boat into a secluded cove, where she can relax to the lullaby of the sea. He rests his hand on her belly, feeling their unborn child's heartbeat. When she consults with Giuseppe about nutrient-rich organic compost, Ryan stands by her, "You are giving your baby the best start possible." Together they map out vegetable beds and stock up on vitamins for the final months. At the island's next traditional festival, Maria stands before the crowd to offer congratulations, "Let us celebrate this little family growing by one more member." Villagers cheer as Ryan and Vivian step onto the raised platform, Vivian's pregnant silhouette outlined beneath her embroidered dress. They receive hand-knit baby clothes, baskets of fresh fruit, and decades of parenting wisdom. Neighborhood children wave eagerly, "Hello, baby." And Vivian laughs with delight. When her due date arrives, Ryan escorts Vivian to the island's small clinic. In a candlelit room scented with herbs, she grips Ryan's hand through each contraction. He never leaves her side, wiping her brow and whispering encouragement, "You can do this, my strong woman." At last, a newborn's cry fills the air. Ryan holds their daughter, her dark hair mirroring her mother's. "Welcome, little one of Spina Island," he murmurs. Vivian smiles through tears of joy. The little family returns to the wooden cottage, the garden now a vibrant tapestry of green that witnessed their rebirth. Each morning Ryan ventures out with their baby strapped to him, showing her how to tend the greens and pick the first ripe fruits. When she naps, Vivian sits on the porch sewing a baby quilt or sharing gardening tips with the local youth. At night, fireflies still dance by the cave, but now their glow is joined by a child's laughter and Vivian's lullabies. Isola di Spina has gained a new member, its joy doubled and community ties strengthened. In arms overflowing with love, Vivian realizes the island did more than heal her, it gave her a true family. Ryan's love, like sweet milk, nourishes a happiness that will last forever.